Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK.
And I'm Courtney.
And Courtney, how are you?
I am still waking up because we're recording this in the morning time and not in the nighttime, um, which is fine. So my brain is not turned on yet. I haven't even had coffee yet. It's just sitting beside me. Like the collar of my shirt is inside of my shirt still. That is where we are today. But I'm good. I'm good. I had an up and down week, but I passed my ethics exam. So very exciting stuff. Now I never have to take it ever again. Doesn't matter what I decide to do with my life because when you've been licensed in a state 5 years, you can usually substitute that for
Mm.
the MPRE. I've just only been licensed for 4 years. And so I had to retake it. But I got a high enough score that I passed for all jurisdictions. So if I were to, and it lasts for 5 years. So if I were to decide to move somewhere tomorrow and take their bar, I could, and I wouldn't have to retake it. So
Nice.
very excited about that. Um, and we checked in for our cruise this week, which reminded me I still didn't get a passport, but it's fine. We'll just go with birth certificate this year and try again next year. Um, it's all right because I need to now make an eye appointment because I do love these glasses, but I'm not looking to wear glasses on a cruise ship. It's just it's hot, it's sticky,
Yeah.
and water and whatnot. I can't see without them, so it's not like I can just take them off. Or I'd just be blind the whole time. I guess, I don't know. Maybe that's nice. Live in this like state of
It is
delusion.
so funny because I mean I don't wear my glasses. I can't see shit either. My eyes are not nearly as bad as yours, so it's
Right.
but a bunch of my kids do that too. They like I don't have assigned seats because there's so few kids in the class, and so they just like sit all the way against the wall and then they stare
Mhm.
at the board like this.
Even if I did that, I couldn't see. Like I could be standing in front of the board and I couldn't see unless I was right here.
I
Like
go,
I'm so blind.
do you wear glasses? They're like, yeah, but I don't like them. I go, okay. Do you want to, I don't know, sit somewhere where the board isn't that far away from you? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay.
So I'll be like sitting in my library and I'll read. So sometimes I'll take my glasses off to read because I have my Kindle so I can hold it like here if I need to.
Yeah.
Um, but I usually put on like cooking shows while I'm reading. And so I want to see the final dish. I have to like put my glasses back on to see what the final dish looks like, and then I can go back. I don't necessarily need to watch. I've watched some cooking shows. I don't need to watch them actually cook it. I just want to hear them talk about it and then see
Yeah.
the final product. So, um, so I've had a week. Um, applied to some jobs. Um,
Nice.
it's been a week. It's been a week, but it's been fine. Just a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
How about you? How are you?
I'm okay. I've been so busy lately. Like, I just feel like, but I also feel like I've been so busy not doing anything worth talking about. Like, I just go to work all the time.
Mhm.
But last weekend, Dan had a concert.
Yeah.
And I like genuinely don't think I've seen any of his concerts since like last Christmas. Like I've been so like everything's just been a mess and we've both been
Hmm.
so busy that like I haven't been going to his concerts. So I was like, no, I'm gonna go to the concert. And he was like, I really don't know if you want to waste your time. Like you've been so busy, you have the day off from work, like you should just like stay home. And I was like, no, I'm gonna go to your concert. And he was like, okay. But it was like it was the opera The Flying Dutchman, like it was Wagner's opera. And he
Hmm.
was like, but I'm just like warning you, the second act is like, it drags. He goes, it's beautiful, but like it drags. And I was like, it'll be fine. It'll be great. Dan didn't sing in the second act as part of why he knows how badly it drags, is because he's also sitting backstage, like waiting for it to happen.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, it'll be great. So, like, the first act happens, everything's beautiful. I'm watching him sing, everything's great. Second act happens. And again, it is beautiful. But I don't know how familiar you are with the opera itself, but the second act is where all of the like love ballads are.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I just straight up fell asleep sitting there. I was like, oh great, great. Um, but also part of the problem was, and I told him this, and it's not his fault. I was like, they are a little short on altos right now, and the second act was all
Mm.
the female singers. And so when your strength is only in your high soprano, It's
Yeah.
it's not it's it's just too quiet to make me like
Right.
engage in it. Honestly.
Right.
But that's basically been about where I'm at for like the last 2 weeks is that level of tired. Like we got a new bed
Mm-hmm.
and it's wonderful, but I also like never want to get out of it ever.
Ugh, I feel that. My bed's not even that great. I just don't want to get out of it. Like
Oh yeah,
these days.
I know. So we got a purple mattress.
I'm so jealous. I've looked at purple mattresses for years and I'm like,
Oh,
I want to get one. I want to get one. And then they're just like so expensive. But
they
like,
are. They're
I mean,
very
you just
expensive.
bought one.
Yeah.
But like, I've always wanted one. But like right now, I don't have like a great frame. And
Yeah.
so I'm gonna wait till I get, and I don't know, maybe I'll move tomorrow. Who's to say? We don't know what my life holds anymore.
No. No, I mean we did have to buy a new frame for said mattress,
Yeah.
but so we spent a lot of money and now I'm like, well, we spent so much money on it, I have to use it.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's where all of your money went. So that's where all of your shine should go.
Obviously.
That's
So
the
I just
logic.
want to sleep all the time. Um,
100%. Totally fair.
but I also like because I was so uncomfortable before and now we got the new mattress, my back is a wreck. And I don't th it's not the bed's fault. Like I'm comfortable when I'm in bed, but like because I was like sleeping so badly
Hmm.
before the bed and then I didn't go to the chiropractor, my back is just so mad at me. I
Yeah.
really I really need to call my chiropractor, but I really do not have time.
I understand. That's how with it. Like Rachel has like the best bed that whenever I was living there. And it's so comfortable. But like I'd wake up most of the time and my back would hurt. And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
bro, I'm using a good bed. Like you
You're
shouldn't
like
hurt
you're like
anymore.
I did the right things. I got the firmer mattress, I got better pillows, like I did all the right
I
things.
did it.
Why?
I know. But here we are. So now I'm back to my like nonsense mattress that's like 50 years old, legitimately like 50 years old, and has a topper on it. And I'm like, my back's just like, no, we're chill. We're chill. It's fine.
That's wild.
I know. I do have good
I
pillows though.
Yeah. I was talking to Dan's sister last week and we were talking about like the new mattress and then she was talking about how she needed a new bed and she was like telling me how old her bed was and I just looked at her and I go, you know, you're supposed to get a new mattress like every 7 years, right?
Yeah, yeah. This
And
isn't
she,
even my bed. Like it's Nick's uncle's mom's bed, I think is where it's come from. Like this is a real like he's in his mom's house and it
yeah,
just was also there,
yeah.
not being used, and now it's in my house.
Oh my God.
But again, we never know how long I'm gonna be anywhere. And so like, why buy a whole new bed if I'm gonna not be here tomorrow?
True.
But
That's true. We don't know anything really. Um, and since we don't, we probably need some guidance.
you're right. You're right. I do have that.
I was like,
I
I
do
know
have
you
that.
have the quotes. You got a million
Yep.
last week while you were walking
Sure
Katie.
enough. Sure enough. It's happening. Okay. Um,
Whoa, sorry, Duolingo just got real aggressive with me. I just got a notification that said it's from Falstaff, the bear, and it said,
yeah, yeah.
you should keep your 436-day streak, but what do I know? I'm just a bear.
I've got that. They're so aggressive to me because I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah,
Like
but
some
like
days I get on and my app is just white, like solid white, because they're just like, we're not talking to you today.
I have a 436-day streak.
I
I do
know.
it every day. It's only 11:15 and it's a Sunday. Like,
Right. No, they're
damn.
mean. They're mean. I do need to get back into it though. I need to go learn French again.
Yeah.
But no, aggressive. They're
Yeah.
like the more days than not do I get on there with Duo just holding a knife. Like that is my daily picture of Duo usually.
Yeah. Mine, where
Let's see
is
what it is
he?
right now. Oh, right now it's just telling me to try chess. Really would like me to try chess.
Oh no, right now Duo's just crying.
Yeah, I get him a lot too, but he looks a lot
But
worse than that.
also like I have a 436-day streak. Like,
Yeah,
why are you
yeah.
crying?
Yeah, mine's like we haven't seen you in 3 months. Could you talk to us again?
I know, I'm sure when you do get on, I'll get a big notification of it like, Courtney rejoined Duolingo.
I know. Well, I accidentally clicked on it the other day, like a week or two ago, and I guess it notified everyone because I started getting like, "Congrats for coming back," and I was like, I literally just accidentally clicked on a widget. Like I didn't even open it.
Oh yeah, no, no, no.
Um,
I got one the other day that was like t telling me that Brianna came back
I
to,
got that one too.
but then I think she actually stayed because I just got a notification that she completed 3 friend quests in a row. So like,
Yeah, I think she was one of the people that like nudged me to come back or something. So I was like, okay,
mm,
all right, fine. So maybe this is the week. It's Sunday. It's the day of new beginnings. I don't know. Do people say that? Now we do.
wait, now,
Um,
yeah.
that's who we are.
Oh,
This
she
is what
does.
happens when I'm not awake yet and I just say
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, she does have a 6 day streak. Good for her.
Ooh, good for her. I'll start today and I'll get back in it. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm over with my panic attack of figuring if I was gonna pass that ethics or not.
That's
But
true.
that was a real swing and a miss for my mental health.
All
Um,
right.
doubting yourself is normal, but letting you stop it is a choice. Mel Robbins.
Hmm.
That's
Okay.
phrased weird.
That is phrased really weirdly.
Sorry.
No, I like the idea makes sense. I'm down for it. It basically repeats
Right.
what you literally just said right before that, but also it is written strangely.
It is, yeah, I read it out. Like I read it, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And then now I've just read it out loud. I was like, huh.
Huh.
That sounds
Yeah.
weird now that I've read it out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can doubt, but don't ever stop.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
All right. So today we're going to talk about Stargate SG-1 Season 8, Episode 7.
Is this the
So
wild one?
this is the wild one. This is the wild one. Yeah. It's called Affinity, and it was rated 7.3 stars. It came out on August 20th, 2004, so everything is the same as last week's Atlantis episode. It was written and directed by Peter DeLuise and edited by Stein Meerstad. So
Do we know that person?
yeah, we do. We've talked about him before.
Okay.
Um, the guest star that we're talking about today is Erica Durance. And she's known for Smallville, The Butterfly Effect 2, and The House of the Dead. She also was the lead role in the medical drama Saving Hope.
Hmm.
And she's a big Hallmark girly. Um,
Okay, okay.
she was previously married to David Pelfy, who played Anubis. Um,
Hmm.
And they were married from 2005 to 2024 and have 2 kids. And I think they were actually still legally married when we did the deep dive on David Pelfy. So, like, we've kind of already talked a little bit about her, but they did split in 2022. And she just went public with her new man in April of this year, but um, without going public. She's like, here's a picture of the back of his head. I'm not telling anybody who he is.
Soft launch.
Yeah.
That's what they call
Yeah,
it.
but no, but then she also was like, I'll never tell anybody who he is because it's too much shit. Um,
That's
but
fair.
and she, like I said, she does a lot of Hallmark movies. She's very big. She's always at Comic Cons, like because of Smallville. Um, and but my favorite weird fact about her is her sister Jenny is married to Jason Judge, who is Christopher Judge's brother. So
Oh,
she and Chris Judge are actually like brother and sister-in-law.
that's
Um,
cute.
but they got married in 2005, so they were not yet related when
At
they filmed
this
this
time.
episode, which I'm glad about because I like imagine. I remember I had this thought in my head when I was writing these notes, and I was like, I can't imagine like making out with my sister's husband's brother. And then I
Yeah.
remembered that I have.
Wait,
No,
give me more information.
Gabby's brother Colin, his or Gabby's husband Colin, his brother is my ex-boyfriend. Like we dated a long time ago
Oh,
when we were like teenagers.
I misunderstood I thought you were saying that making out with your sister's husband. And
No,
I
no,
was like,
no.
which one and when?
No, my sister's husband's brother, because I
Got
used
it.
to date my, before they were married, I dated my brother-in-law's brother.
Sure.
And so, but I was like, that's so weird to like make out with your, and then I go, oh, but I didn't do that.
But it's not, but I think it's less weird because like it's not your like direct
Oh,
brother-in-law. It's the brother of
right.
the brother-in-law, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, no, like I would never make out with like obviously my sister's husbands.
right.
That'd be weird. But like also like Dan's brother, like that's not a thing that
Yeah.
would happen. Um, but yes. But so then I was like, I was like, oh, that's so weird. But I also am just like, oh, like Teal'c and Lois Lane are like brother-in-law. Like that's funny to me. I don't know. Um,
Yes,
but
totally.
yeah, but Erica Durance, she's pretty cool. Yeah.
I recognized her face and I was like, I don't know why, but this is like she's given like early like late 90s like action show vibes.
Well, yeah,
Like I
so
could have seen her in like one of the like X-Men or like one of those like late 90s
yeah,
versions
yeah.
of that show, but I couldn't place her.
Yeah, no, she played Lois
Yeah.
Lane in Smallville.
I mean, I haven't seen Smallville either, but I've seen her in something else you said. You said
Sa
something else and I was like,
Saving Hope.
no.
She,
There was
The
there
House of
was
the Dead or Butterfly Effect 2.
Oh no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I don't remember her being in Butterfly Effect. But I didn't see Butterfly Effect 2. I just saw the first
Me
one.
either.
So
Yeah.
no, I haven't seen any of the things you said, but I've definitely seen
Ah,
her in something.
okay. See, I was a big Smallville girly, so
Mm,
um
yeah.
um we start the episode. This episode is a fucking trip. We start with a bunch of gangsters like starting a fight with a scrawny guy who they rear-ended in their car, and you're like, what the fuck is even happening right now? And
Literally.
then
I literally was like, did I click on the right show? Like, am I watching Stargate?
yeah, and then Teal'c enters the chat and fights all the thugs while telling them exactly how to drive and like how to follow the rules of the road. He's like reading penal code to them while he's like punching them in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And then we get the credits, and you're like, okay.
Hmm.
Um, After the credits, we get God, Colonel, what is Colonel's fucking name? Something with a K. Colonel Kendrick, yep. So the Colonel Kendrick comes to see Jack because Teal'c is breaking the rules of his provisions of living off base, and he threatens to take action against Teal'c. And Jack's like, "Fucking watch your back, bro. Like,
Mm.
do not, do not come for my people." Um, so instead of letting Colonel Kendrick handle it, Jack handles it by sending Daniel to go visit Teal'c. And Daniel goes to check up on him, and it is as exactly as awkward as you would expect.
Yep.
Um, Teal'c, Teal'c, this is what my note says. Teal'c is getting his home decor ideas from every single decorating show that exists at the same
Yep.
time.
100%. 100%.
Um, he's like, I just watched all of HGTV, and now this is my apartment.
I mean, that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
That
Well,
makes
no,
the
he
most
says it.
sense.
He says it. He says
Oh,
that
did he say that? That's
he says
funny.
there's a lot of decorating shows on TV. Like, and and Daniel's like, okay. Um, and Daniel's like, Teal'c, like you're supposed to be laying low, and Teal'c's like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, I'm stepping in and like stopping other people from doing what things wrong. And Daniel trying to explain the bystander effect to Teal'c is so funny. Daniel's like, well, like here's the thing. You're correct, but like people don't do that. We just like are kind of terrible, and we like don't step in, and we just let people do bad things. And Teal'c's like,
Mhm.
so why am I in trouble because you guys are all assholes? Like I don't understand what's
Right.
happening.
Correct. Correct.
Um,
Very fair, very valid questions.
And but then Krista, Teal'c's neighbor, played by Erica Durance, comes over to give him cookies, and she meets Daniel, and she's also very awkward. But then she thanks Daniel for hiring Teal'c to come be his research assistant from Mozambique. Because she says having a man around who actually cares about his neighbors is a really nice change. And she asks Teal'c to come help with some plumbing in her apartment, and he starts to turn her down because of everything Daniel said. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm never allowed to help anyone ever again." And Daniel leaves and says, like, that thing we were talking about, Teal'c, like every rule has its exceptions. Because, Daniel can't help himself when hot girls enter the chat.
Absolutely, 100%. Which, like, to be fair, like he could go fix her sink. Like that's
Right.
not a problem. But
It's
that
you
is
gotta
Daniel's
you
reasoning.
right. Like you gotta be careful with what you tell Teal'c because Teal'c thinks in black and white. Like he doesn't shades of gray don't exist. And like if you tell him he's not allowed to help people, then he will think he's not allowed to help people. Like,
Right.
and we'll see that later in the episode, but like he doesn't understand that like sure, you can help your neighbor fix their plumbing. You just can't like stop a 5 car pileup with your bare hands. Like
Hmm.
there that
Yeah.
is not a nuance that Teal'c is capable of understanding.
No.
Um, but then, as if this episode wasn't already the weirdest fucking thing in the entire world, we go to Sam and Pete on a lunch date at a playground, which I get that they like are actually like it's a more like a public park and they go and get the hot dog stand and they're walking through the park. There just happens to be a playground in the background, but like seeing two grown adults sitting at a bench at a playground, this is so weird to me. I can't.
I will tell you that's like all of our parks here. Like they're just playgrounds with like benches around. So that's like at least
But
like
that's
that's
so
like
weird to me though. Like,
we don't have anywhere else to walk. They won't give us anywhere else to go.
yeah.
That's the problem. If we had like walking trails and stuff, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
They've got more now. They've got more now, but like,
Yeah. I guess growing up with literally a state park in my backyard has kind of like
sure.
made
Yeah, yeah.
my ideas of normal.
Hmm.
I just also find adults at playgrounds creepy.
Yeah. It is, no, 100%. Like I'm with you. But also like if that's the only park you have,
Right, right,
like what do? You go stand on the concrete sidewalk by a mall or something? Like where else do you go?
right.
You
No,
know?
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Um, their lunch date gets even weirder because he openly admits that he was stalking her.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but she is grateful that he stuck around and like put up with the craziness of her job. And I'm like, I guess that's a reason to forgive him being a stalker. Like,
I
uh,
honestly forgot that they were together. I just assumed they broke up and nobody told me. Like
yeah,
that's where I thought we were. Obviously, I was wrong.
yeah, yeah. He tells her that he put in a transfer for Colorado Springs so that they could be together, for real and not just like once a week when they come up for lunch dates. And then he proposes.
Again, I go from, oh, they broke up and no one told me to, oh, they might get engaged. Like those
Right.
are a wild. To be
Yeah.
fair though, that's how I'm looking to get married because I don't have time for all the in between. So like,
Fair, fair, fair,
yes.
fair.
No, don't stalk me. I'm not requesting a
Right.
stalker, but
No.
like
I mean,
just like show
yeah.
up, don't suck, and then propose like immediately and we're done. Like I don't need to worry about all the in between.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, Dan and I had not even hit 3 years together before we got married. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no,
so,
doesn't matter too long. I'm talking like 3 months. Let's in and out. Let's do this thing.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
too. He was trying to
Hmm.
be respectful and like follow
Sure, sure.
societal traditions and was like, I
Fair.
can't propose to you 45 minutes after we started dating. And I was like, but why?
Right. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So,
So then this is where we see Teal'c's inability to understand nuance. So Teal'c and Krista are coming home from grocery shopping, and Eric, who is a neighborhood boy, um, comes to talk to Teal'c, and he's telling him how great it was that he beat up the thugs the other day, and he like, really, and like you see that Teal'c's neighbors and his community and stuff actually like really appreciate him, and like so it's really just the government oversight that is mad that he is
mhm.
making a big deal out of this. And while they're talking, this man comes and takes an older woman's purse, and they all ask him to help, but he says he can't. Um, and but then because it's Teal'c and he can't help himself, and he really like doesn't know how to just like stand back, he chucks an avocado at him from an entire city block away and knocks him out. And I wrote, which in retrospect is way more attention calling than tackling him would have been.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I can't
Very true.
tackle him and take him down in a normal way that any built man would be able to do. Instead, I'm going to Super Saiyan toss fruit at him from a city block
Yeah.
away.
I was like, that's not it. That wasn't the wish.
Um, but while this is happening, we see that someone is taking photos of Teal'c.
Oops. Du-du-du.
Then we get to some more drama when Krista's boyfriend shows up to her door drunk, asking to come in, and she tells him to leave. But Teal comes to check on her because they're yelling, and Doug, Krista's boyfriend, which saying terrible things about Doug in this episode as I was taking notes was kind of funny to me, but
We already have one evil Doug. We didn't need another.
right. Doug tries to pick a fight with him, and which is a choice. I don't know that I would ever look at someone, and I have met Christopher Judge in real life. I am fully aware of his size.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think I would ever look at someone who looks like that and think, I can fucking take that.
Never in a million years. Never in a million years. That is some real, real white
And
boy energy there.
right, and I met him like in the last few years when he was like on a break from physical like action acting and
Right.
he was only in like normal healthy like in shape person shape and
Hmm.
not teal shape. And I still would not consider that something that I would do.
Mm-mm.
Um,
And I mean,
Chris,
people fight when they're drunk. So I was like, maybe he's just drunk. But no, he just keeps coming. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
no, he's just stupid.
yeah,
Like,
uh-huh. Um, Krista apologizes for Doug's behavior, says he's not always like that. And Teal'c is so confused and he does not understand why she's making excuses for him because, again, Teal'c does not live in a world with nuance. He's like, but he's rude and evil and mean and I don't understand. What?
to be fair, she shouldn't be making excuses for him.
Oh,
She should be
no,
calling him
no,
the
no.
curb.
Correct, 100%. We all agree. We've all, but we also know somebody who's been there, and it is not as easy as being like, "Hey, that's the wrong answer." That's not going to get
Right.
them to
No,
stop.
no. No, been there, done that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Right. Um, so then back at the SGC, Teal'c is explaining his confusion to Daniel and Sam, and Daniel is trying because Daniel's an anthropologist, he's trying to explain the significance of dating in different cultures to Teal'c and like why people react. And basically, he's trying to explain the science of women who tolerate domestic abuse because they're societally programmed to need to not be alone. And he is like
Mhm.
trying and like he's trying in Teal'c terms to explain this phenomenon.
Right.
So weirdly, Daniel's not the incorrect one in this situation.
He's not. And it's, I mean, I guess he's dated enough. He's got the most experience.
He
So
does. He
you
does
know.
have the most dating experience, and he's read the most about anthropological reasons for
Hmm.
relationships
Hmm.
in society. So, okay.
And I guess,
So,
like, who else would you have tell him? Jack, who was married and had a seemingly healthy relationship for the most part, or Sam, who is a woman and is like with a stalker. Like, I don't know. But like
right.
Daniel's best
Well,
option.
yes. And Sam would be a good option, maybe, except for then, in the middle of Daniel trying to talk to Teal'c on Teal'c's level, Sam just starts trauma dumping about Pete's proposal without saying that that's what she's upset about.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And she's like, Teal'c, when you don't know, when you're on Chulak, when relationships aren't going well, what do you do? And he's like, well, they either agree to basically take a time out in their relationship and like walk away from each other until they can figure out why they like each other. And they're like, what if they can't agree on that? He goes, well, then they kill each other. Like they fight to the death. Like, I
Then
don't know.
weapons get involved, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Yes, I'm in. This is
Yeah.
this is where we
If
need to
we can't
be.
have an adult conversation, we fight to the death. I don't.
100%, no questions. I would like to implement this moving forward, starting now."
Then Teal'c leaves this uncomfortable situation and he's in the park doing Tai Chi. They call it Lucknow is
Yeah,
the Gould or Jaffa word for
Jaffa.
it. But I'm like he's just in the park doing Tai Chi and Krista interrupts him and was like I broke up with Doug and I'm like and she's like feeling real guilty about like ending the relationship and she's like um tell like can you teach me how to do that? Like can you teach me self-defense? And everything's great. And then we have a really uncomfortably long um training montage that I wrote, it gets smoky but not spicy. Like,
I think this scene is why I felt like she was like 90s action because what was the show I watched that was a Marvel show? Um,
oh shit, yeah. What
you
did
know what I'm
you?
talking about?
Yes.
It was late 90s, early, I think into the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Um, the Mutants, Ex Mutants, something like
Oh.
that. Mutant
Something like
X, Mutant X, and same vibes, 100%. Like you could have just picked the scene up, put it in that show, and I never would have even asked who these people were.
yeah. But and it's like training montage. And I also just was like, we had literally just watched the episode of Atlantis where they had the really unnecessarily long like science montage. And I was like, what is happening? They're not the same
Marley.
director, they're not the same
Yeah.
editor, they're on the same day. Like they went aired back to back weird montages. I was like, okay. Um But again, the scene ends, like the montage ends with them getting real close to like kissing. But that's why I wrote smoky but not spicy. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
but then nothing happens.
You know, I want them to start describing books that way. Like,
Mm,
like
So,
instead of light spice or no spice, it should just be smoky.
yeah.
I
Because
like
it's
it.
like the hint of something there, and you're like, and you can
Yeah.
feel it, but it's not actually, you're not actually ingesting it. It's smoky but
Hmm.
not spicy. That's how I describe it, and I'm correct.
I think so. I will be coming to you for all future book descriptions. So
Perfect.
I need you to read 75 books because I do read pretty fast.
You,
So
I read pretty fast too, but you read way faster than I do. Um, yes, yeah, no, I try to read, but then I read books that depress me, and then I can't. Like yesterday, I was reading 1984, and I read for like an hour, and then I was like, I hate being alive right now, so I
I think
stopped.
I read that book in one sitting the last time I read it. Because it's not that long. It's not that long.
No, no, I mean, I don't know. I'm like 20% of the way through it or something like
Mm.
that. Um, So then Teal'c goes next door because Krista is late for their next session, and this one might be the one where a chili pepper appears. So um, she tells him that she's not going to be able to train with him anymore because she just doesn't have time, and she's making excuses, and he's confused because
Sure.
Teal'c can nuance, and also because it's confusing. And he's like, "Is everything all right?" And she says yes, but when she goes to close the door, there's like a giant like bruise or brush burn or something across her arm. And he's very upset, obviously. And she tries to get him to leave, but Doug hears that Teal'c's there and he says he's going to handle things. So he comes out and he's like, "I know what's been going on with you. If you come near my girl, blah blah blah." And Teal'c just counters and is like, "If you ever injure Krista again, I will murder you in cold blood where you stand."
It's like, no questions. No
No
questions.
questions. And no, like I could not imagine seeing that interaction and not fully 100% believing that Teal'c would murder this man and not
Oh
feel
my
bad
gosh,
about it.
yeah. No
Um,
question. No, none at all. I was like, yeah, that is how that's gonna go.
yeah, and the nosy neighbor across the hall witnesses the entire interaction. So now there's witnesses to Teal'c trying to murder
Threatening.
someone in cold blood. So, um, but then we go back to SGC and Sam's in the lab and Jack comes down and is asking her for a report. And he even says he feels weird doing it. He's like, "I never thought I was gonna say this, but I need that report." And Sam's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm like not done with it." She's like, "I can have it first thing tomorrow." And he's like, "It is tomorrow." And she just like stares at him. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." He goes, "No, but you're not." And
Right.
then, in what might be the most weird but romantic thing anyone has ever said, um, Jack's like, "You haven't he's like, "You haven't science babbled at me in things I don't understand in 3 days," which is a red flag. And I was like,
Right.
tell me you're not obsessed and in love with someone to the point where you know every single detail about them without telling me that. Like, I
Right.
just,
I was like,
ugh.
I know. Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm worried about you, like something's going on." So she shows him the ring. And he's like, okay. And she's like, I haven't answered yet. And he was like, okay. And she goes, and it's been 2 weeks. And he was like, well, you might want to give the guy a fucking answer.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't realize it had been 2 weeks till she said that. I was like, oh, we're just like a couple of days later. Like,
right, you think the way, but we had that whole training montage and now she
sure.
actually has self-defense skills, so it must have been more
Mhm.
than a few days. But
Right.
yeah, but we're like thinking it's been a couple days and she's like, yeah, I've ignored him for 2 straight weeks. And it's like, ouch.
Uh, poor Pete.
And so she starts explaining her feelings to Jack and she's like, I always thought that like I would eventually be able to let go of work and like have a life, but like now that it comes down to that actually being an option, like I don't think I can. And he's like, a lot of people here like have lives. It's just our team that doesn't. Like that's
Hmm.
and she's like, but like what if I go through how am I supposed to go through the gate every day and like not know if I come back and like have a family? He's like, that is the military. Like every time anybody goes on any mission anywhere, they might not come back. And he's like, and also like again, 90% of this base has a family. Like what are
Yeah.
and she's like, what about you? Like if things had been different, he says, if things had been different, I wouldn't be here. Which I have some notes about what that means. Like I have a lot of notes about what that phrase could possibly mean.
Well, I took it to mean that his child never died and he stayed happily married with his wife. And he was already retired from the military, so he didn't come back because even if
Correct.
they asked him, he was real into his family still.
Which is not at all either of the double meanings that the writers meant when they said it. Even though that is the
Oh,
most
there's like
obvious
notes about
meaning.
it, like,
Yes, there's like actual notes about it. It could be taken. So there's two things. There's that, but then there's also two other things, and which makes like what he's saying like really weird. Part of it is one, when we met Jack in the pilot of the show, he was about to commit suicide.
yeah,
So like if things had been different, if SGC hadn't been an option, he would be not be here as in he would be dead.
right.
Then there's of course the actual like if he had been happily married with his family and things had been different, like he never would have made it to the SGC. He'd still be at home with Charlie. But then the third meaning, and the reason why this scene has like such an awkward, lingering moment is that he has already told Carter that if she had like this when they first admitted their feelings to each other, like forever ago, he told her straight up that if it came down to her retiring or him, he would retire. Like he's already admitted to her that if they were together, he would not be there anymore.
Yeah, I did read
So,
about that.
yeah. So like he's basically like, I might be dead. I might be happily retired, or like maybe you could get your shit together and love me, and then I
Right.
wouldn't
Yeah,
have to
that's
be here
fair.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Um, don't worry, that's not where this goes.
I know.
Ugh.
I did finish this episode, so I do know where we end up.
Um, Teal'c leaves his apartment and he finds Krista crying in the hallway, and she says she ended things with Doug for real, but she needs to leave. And she doesn't want to be alone, so she asks him to go with her. He agrees, but only because he's very worried about her. She is
Mhm.
not stable.
Mhm.
Um, so they leave, and then Colonel Kendrick calls Jack and tells him that Krista's boyfriend was found dead in their apartment and Teal'c is the primary suspect.
Yeah, that is not where I thought this was going. I assumed she was trying to leave because she like broke up with him and he was gonna come after her. And so she was like, I need to get out of here. And then they're like, oh, he's dead until it did it. I'm like, that's one, no, that's not what happened. But also, I see that is a
Yes,
little
she
more
she
immediate.
definitely needs to get out of there a lot quicker if it's a matter of finding a body or him finding her.
Right. Because as
Uh,
long as Toke's still there, if he finds her, like Toke can handle it.
yeah.
But like,
So Teal'c's the primary suspect, but Teal'c is also missing and they can't get his side of the story. Whew.
mhm.
So now he's officially wanted for kidnapping and murder.
Yep, 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 yep. What a good time.
What a good time. Um,
Probably not the way to keep your off base living.
no. While Teal'c is, or while driving around with Krista, Teal'c realizes that they're being followed and worries that it's Doug. And Krista, like, this is when you know something's up, this moment, because Krista's like, it's not.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, no, I'm sure it can't be. And he's like, okay, well then they're following me. And she's like, why? And he's like, I can't explain why someone would be following me. And she's like, well, can you lose them? He's like, only if I break driving laws.
I was like, oh, Tilk. Oh,
So he
Tilk.
does. He breaks some driving laws and they go to a motel and she starts to ask questions and he says he really can't tell her anything. Like he is so good at keeping he is not Sam. He does not tell
Right.
people the secrets he's not allowed to tell them.
Correct.
And she's like, it's okay if you can't tell me. And she kisses him anyway.
Mhm.
Which I have some problems with that.
Yeah.
On just like a human level, if someone's like, I literally don't trust you enough to tell you my secrets, and you're like, sounds hot.
Yeah. And like, it's one thing if they're like, I work for a branch of government, I can't tell you what's going on. But
Right.
like,
If you were with Jack or
yeah.
Sam and you know they work for a military branch that has
Mhm.
classified levels and they have high enough ranks and you're like, okay, I get it. Or like even like as stupid as it is, Dan works, he is on the board for the course that he works for,
Mhm.
like that he works for. And on the board, they have a lot of things that they have NDAs about. So when he goes to
Yeah.
board meetings, he tells me like this was the basic agenda of the board meeting, but like I can't tell you any more details.
Right.
I also know he has signed an NDA. And even though I don't think it really should apply to me, that's his brain works in a way where he signed it, he's never going to tell anybody, and that includes me.
Sure.
So fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But this man from Mozambique
Zambique, would you
that's standing in the corner
and
that
that
you don't
you
really
also
know.
know, you've already admitted that you know he's not actually a research assistant from Mozambique. So
Right.
so at that point, if you're not James Bond, you've got some explaining to do.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to tell me something, even if it's just like, oh, I work for the government and can't tell you. Like,
Yeah,
literally, like, as
just
simple as that.
yeah. Ugh.
Bless.
But instead, she jumps into bed with him because secrets are hot when you are a traumatized child. Um,
Sure. Sure.
Sam goes to talk to Pete, and she's like, "Hey, by the way, I know it's been 2 weeks. I'm still not going to answer your question, but I need your help." And in
Poor Pete. Like,
poor
I
Pete,
get it, but poor Pete.
right? But so in another unhealthy relationship, Pete's like, "Absolutely, I'll help you."
Right. Right. And that's another thing where it's like, you could, like, if you're thinking about marrying this person, you can tell them these things you're thinking about. Be like,
Right,
this is why I don't know if we
right.
should move forward, not
You're
just be
like,
like, I don't know,
because
I'm gonna go radio
her
silent.
her doubts about Pete have never been about Pete. They're about herself and what that means for her career and if she's ready to have a relationship that is like more permanent and if it's worth it to be happy when that happiness risks other people. Like those are all things you talk to your partner about.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
not a one of them has to give away Stargate secrets. Not a one of them.
Neither one of them has to tell classified information to explain just enough to make this not the most toxic conversation anyone's ever had.
Correct. Correct.
Teal'c wakes up in the motel and Krista is gone.
And I was
Um,
like, if this woman has framed him and run off, I will kill her where she stands. Like,
right.
I can't.
Because then Teal'c's not the toxic one in that relationship. I mean, to be fair, Teal'c really isn't. He could
He
say
just doesn't.
more. He could
Yeah.
say more, but he's not really the one being toxic. Her being like, I don't care that you're telling me nothing. I'm still gonna go for it anyway.
Right.
That's toxic.
He doesn't know any better. He's just trying to follow the rules like he's taught. Like,
Yes.
there's And she
He's
hasn't like fought him on it at all. She's not like even pissed him off.
Teal'c is not emotionally mature enough in Earth culture to have
Right.
a healthy relationship. That doesn't make him
Correct.
toxic. It just makes him a foreigner.
Correct. Correct.
That would be like me moving to Asia and then wanting to have a relationship with someone in Asia and not understanding gender roles and dynamics in society in Asia. Like that's it. I'm not toxic. I just don't know any better.
You just don't know. Yeah.
But for then the other person to be like, it's okay that you know nothing and you're gonna do everything wrong and we're gonna fight about this, I'm still gonna fuck you anyway. Like,
Correct. That is where the issue lies. Mhm.
but don't worry, because as if things couldn't get weirder, a SWAT team is at the door of the motel.
What a wild time.
Courtney texted me while watching this episode and was like, I think I'm having a fever dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, this is the wildest episode. And I will say, like, if we had to not talk about an episode that we watched for a week, this is the one.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna forget what I've seen now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the SWAT team takes Teal'c back to SGC, he's being held at base. He tells Jack he didn't kill anyone and he knew somebody was following him. So he tells Jack the truth, everything that happened. Kendrick's like, we didn't have him under surveillance. We don't know what he's talking about. And Jack's like, well, I'm telling you, he didn't do it. And he's like, well, your word's not enough for an open murder investigation. And he's like, Jack's like, how did you even know where he was? Like, how did you find him at the motel? What's going on? He's like, well, we received a tip. And Jack's like, and you don't think that's the sketchiest fucking thing that you've ever heard?
Like, if it didn't come from me, it didn't come from Till. You've
Right.
just gotten this like tip,
You,
and you're like,
you, you
no
as
one
a,
was following him.
yeah, you as a government agency who previously had him under surveillance, didn't have him under surveillance, and yet someone knew where he was and knew to contact you and not the police.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Feel
And th
shady.
and then, because don't worry, we can't just have two fucking weird ass stories happening. Daniel's working in his office when a weird ancient text pops up on his screen. And then his phone rings, and someone's using a voice modulator and telling Daniel that they need him to translate the ancient text into Goa'uld for tape that is concrete proof of Teal'c's innocence.
Yeah.
So Pete and Sam go to Krista's apartment. They walk through the crime scene, and Pete realizes that the official police report doesn't seem to be true because of the positioning of Doug's body. Doug's body is laying in a way that the police said he was choked up against a wall and fell. However, the way his limbs are positioned, it wouldn't have been natural for him to fall that way. He must have been killed elsewhere and then moved to the wall to make it look like that was what happened.
Mhm.
Um, and he looks out the windows and identifies where in the buildings across the street someone would have to be surveilling Teal'c and Krista's apartment. So they go to said apartment and it's been wiped pretty clean, but Pete, because for as annoying as he is, he's actually a very good cop. He decides to trace them by using whatever local pizza place they would have ordered from, which is so
Smart.
fascinating and so smart and so not a thing that could happen in 2025.
I don't know. I think it depends on where you're at. Because, like,
No, but here's the thing. In 2025, you can use online ordering and door dashing and things like that, and you can change names and make fake accounts, and you wouldn't be the same person walking into the store every day.
right. But if you didn't think to do that, like,
Right.
and if
Right,
you're
but
also trying to pay with cash, you're not trying to do these online things because they can track
yeah,
IP addresses and stuff and whatnot. And like,
but with the NID and the technology they have, they could spoof IP
sure,
addresses. I'm just
sure.
saying, like, it would be much more difficult to
Mhm.
do that now because people don't walk into pizza places and order in cash and walk away. Like,
Unless you live in my neighborhood.
well, no, I mean, and it depends.
Yeah.
Like the place that when you were here, the place that we got pizza from that was like
Mhm.
across the street from me and Dan, like my
Mhm.
Dan's own apartment, um, where we got that weird dessert pizza and stuff too.
Mhm.
When you go in there, like you can order a whole order online, but you can also just walk in and give them $3 and take a slice and walk out.
Yeah,
Like that is a thing, but like ordering enough food for a stakeout, like ordering full pizzas,
sure.
most places need you to like call ahead or like order online to
Mhm.
like have time to make it.
Right, right.
I just think the post-COVID um takeout experience would significantly hinder stalking
Yeah.
someone via the local pizza place.
There would be a lot of steps they would take first before
Yes.
then. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but Daniel is in the park and he is met by the weird man who calls him, and Daniel's like, I need more time. And they're like, you don't have more time. He's like, well, can you at least give me the context? And he was like, no. And he was like, well, I need context to accurately translate text. Like, I
Right.
could give you a word for word translation, but like that doesn't mean shit.
Right.
And the man's like, okay, cool, I guess we're gonna have to do the hard way. This is the hard way. And Daniel's like, yeah, well, how hard could it possibly be? You already murdered someone. And he's like, no, we didn't. But we did kidnap Krista and we will murder her if you don't get it together.
We haven't murdered yet, but we might murder soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Sam tells Teal'c what her and Peter are up to. They're following the lead at the local pizza place. And Jack tells them that Kendrick is finally on their side, which is the good news. But the bad news is he's on their side because Daniel has now also gone missing.
Right. Right.
Um, Daniel is in the back of the van and he's like, "Oh, like I know who you guys are. You're the trust. Like, you don't like that Teal'c's free, blah blah blah." And they said that we don't like that Teal'c's free because they'll never trust him because he's an alien. Um, and it doesn't matter what he says or what he does, he will never be one of us. We don't want him out and about in the world. Pretty terrible.
Yeah.
And they tell Daniel, they're like, technically Teal'c didn't kill Doug, but we don't mind that we framed him because he is responsible. Because if he hadn't taught Krista how to crush a man's windpipe when she acted in self-defense, he'd still be alive.
Right. But then Krista would be dead and he wouldn't. Like,
Correct.
we just
Yes,
pick and choose who we want to
we're
die.
gonna frame a man for teaching a woman
Hmm.
self-defense as a domestic abuse
Hmm.
victim. Let's
Hmm.
Congratulations, you are pieces of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Pete calls Sam, tells her that he found the car that went to the pizza place every day, and it was a rental car, and the guy had a very intense level of fake identity set up. Like he had everything, and that they're gonna go through it, but this was a professional. Um, so in the warehouse where the van has taken Daniel, the trust wants symbols from Daniel, and they tell him that they'll kill Krista if he doesn't get the symbols. So Daniel agrees to help. And they also say he can't lie about it either because they'll know if the symbols are incorrect.
Which I want to know how exactly. Like, you don't know what this is. You don't have like a system to run it through.
Right.
It's like how do you know they're incorrect?
Yeah. Um, a SWAT team surrounds the warehouse. Daniel and Krista are made to face the wall while the trust deletes and wipes all their computers. And then they zap Daniel and Krista and ring out of the warehouse. And the SWAT team finds them, but they don't find anyone from the trust. And Pete is like, is this normal for like bad guys to just like disappear while and she was like, no, it's not normal. It's also definitely not unheard of. Like we've definitely experienced it
Right,
before. It's just
right.
like not every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then she tells Pete that she will marry him. In what might be the most uncomfortable
Oh
scene
my
I've
God.
ever seen. She just goes, yes. And he goes, you mean? And she says, yes. And then she just says yes 8 times. Like,
But yeah, I was like, stop it. Stop it.
how
Stop it.
much, like, right. But like, also, how much do you actually not want to marry someone if you can't say the words, I'll marry you? Like, you
Right.
just keep saying yes.
Yeah. No.
So then we go to Teal'c. He is like cleaning up his apartment, gathering up his stuff. He's gonna move out of his apartment and back on base because it's not safe for the people. Not because it's not safe for him, it's not safe for the people around him, basically.
Hmm.
And Eric, the little teenager, is helping him get his stuff together. And Krista's like, I'm sorry I got involved in things. And he's like, and they say their goodbye and he has to leave. And we see that Eric got the symbol of Apophis like on his skateboard, which is simultaneously really sweet and also like I can't imagine what Teal'c is feeling in that moment because like I
Hmm.
understand that this kid saw the symbol on Teal'c's forehead and was like, I'm gonna do this as a tribute to you. But that symbol is actually like the symbol of the person who enslaved Teal'c for
Right.
decades. And so now the symbol of Teal'c and his helping the neighborhood is actually the symbol of his like slaver. And that is just a weird
Right.
juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Um, but that is the end of the episode. I
Mm.
do have two pieces of trivia. One is just a random one, and one is explains why this episode is out of order. Um,
Okay.
so the first is that the ancient text on Daniel's computer actually translates to actual words are hard to decipher, so this will work.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
Um, and the biggest reason that this episode was forced to be out of order is actually the NID element of it. Because when this was written and when it was filmed, it was supposed to come after Covenant. So everyone already knows the name of the trust. Daniel in the van tells them, but we don't learn the name of the trust. The first time it's revealed is actually by Coulson's business manager in episode 8 when he says that the trust has been working with him. That's when we find out what NID is now called, is the trust. So even though these two episodes are not really related, the technical correct order is out of order because otherwise Daniel would have no idea who these people who kidnapped him are.
Right.
We have no prior knowledge to this new NID element until we get to the episode Covenant. So you can watch them in the correct airing order, 7 and then 8, and that would be the only thing that would not make sense. But because we have the ability to watch them out of order, it makes more sense to watch them out of order.
Yeah.
So that is the reason that that one scene is really what flip-flops the episodes.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So do you have any questions?
I mean, no, I don't feel like this is going to be related to anything ever again. So I feel like it was just kind of, again, it didn't feel as much like a Stargate episode as like your 90s drama action show. Like that
Right.
is what it felt like. And so like I felt like went in and I was like, I know how this goes. Like I'm familiar
Yeah.
with this. Um and yeah, I don't really have anything else.
Okay. The next episode of SG-1 is episode 9 of the season, and it does bring back people who you previously thought we were never going to see again. So that's exciting. Um,
Oh, maybe it's the Knox.
I'm not going to tell you any more than that.
That's gonna be my guess because I thought
Okay,
we'd never see them again.
that's fair.
I still don't think we will, but I can't think anyone else right now. So that's who I'm gonna guess.
All right. Yeah. So the next episode that we're going to watch for SG-1 will be season 8, episode 9. But the next episode that we watch in general for Stargate is, if I can find my list, Atlantis, episode 8. So we will be back to normal order where it goes
Hmm.
Stargate and Atlantis and then SG-1 and then Atlantis. And we have a couple weeks where everything is in order. I actually think, yeah, we'll have probably for the rest of the year, everything will be in the correct order. So that's,
Amazing. I love
yeah.
that. I love that for me.
I can't guarantee that that will be true forever,
Sure, sure,
but
sure.
but for the foreseeable future, we're back to alternating episodes correctly.
Hmm. Love that.
Just kidding. What? Wait.
Like I should pull up the.
8 and then 9, 9, 10, 10. Oh no, I'm sorry. We have one week where we do two Atlantis back to back because there it's a two part, so we skip. So then
Mm,
we kind of go out of order. But it's not flip-flopping anymore, ever. It's just.
mm.
But just stay tuned.
Wild at the end though. I'm just looking at this graphic
Oh,
you've
the graphic on
pinned.
pinned on Tik. Yes, it will on Instagram. It will get wild, but for the foreseeable future, it is
Hmm.
in a fairly normal
Order.
order.
Yeah. Yep.
Where are we? Oh, yeah, 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 because we're coming up on the two Atlantis that are back to back.
Hmm.
And yeah, don't worry. I mean, shit's gonna get weird. But if you're ever confused on where we're at, we have it posted on our Instagram story, or I'm sorry, pinned on our Instagram page. It's not on the story, then you'd never see it again.
Exactly.
It's pinned on the Instagram page where we're at or what the order of the episodes are. So next week we are watching Atlantis season 1, episode 8, which is also actually episode 7 if you follow the wrong numbering of the episodes. So everything is awful. Speaking of awful, who do you want to punch?
Doug. Hate
Uh,
him.
yeah, I also hate him. I forgot to write down a second option, which doesn't make any sense because you obviously were going to pick Doug. Um, so I think I am going to have to pick the guy who uh in no, you know what? You know what? I was gonna pick the guy in the trust who like zatted Daniel and
Sure.
Krista, which is probably the correct answer. But I'm gonna pick Pete.
Huh. Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
Do you think if you just titled this episode "I really hate Doug," that it would really upset Doug?
Yeah, probably. Doug's having a really he Doug was just here this at the house this morning. He's having a really rough week. And
Well,
it was his birthday last week and his birthday dinner got
I
canceled
saw that.
because but his birthday dinner got canceled because like everything in its mother could have gone wrong went wrong. So,
Poor Doug. I did see that it was his birthday, like the day after his birthday, and I was like, whoops.
but this episode will come out far enough away from this week that maybe things will be a little bit
Maybe it'll be
better.
okay.
And maybe he will actually listen to the whole episode just to make sure that we're not talking about him.
You should always listen to the whole episode to make sure we're not talking about him. That's good practice.
It is good practice because we do talk about him. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna pick Pete.
Mhm.
Who is your MVP? It
It's Tilk.
is. Tilk is the
Mhm.
correct answer. Um, so Tilk is the correct answer. I would have picked Tilk if I knew you weren't going to. But I'm gonna go with Jack because Jack
Mhm.
unwaveringly supports Teal'c and is like absolutely not is that even an option. And also all of the shit about like understanding that something is wrong with Sam before Sam even understands that something's wrong with Sam. Like
Yeah.
Jack is the MVP for me.
Yeah. No, that's
And
100% fair.
yeah. All right. Well, if you have any thoughts, theories, questions, concerns, comments on the weird ass viewing order, please feel free to email us at deathandaliens@gmail.com or follow us on all of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can follow me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar,
And you can find me at CE Cloud 13.
and we will see you on Thursday for another episode of American Horror Story.
Woohoo. Bye.
Bye.